Hi all. So I've been getting a lot of calls and messages from students that how do we prepare at this point of time, because now lockdown is going on and we are having a lot of time, and how do we approach for these exams of PSUs. So basically when I'm talking PSUs, there are basically two PSUs that are going to come, that is Vizag Steel exam is going to be there, and NLC, Naval Lignite Corporation. And most of the students across the country, engineering graduates basically, have applied for these both PSUs. So this video in which I am going to discuss about some preparation techniques or preparation strategies or preparation plans, whatever you may call, will be relevant for almost all PSUs exams that you'll be going to write in the future from now. Why? Because see, now when you talk about PSU recruitment basically, so it used to happen earlier, most of the PSU recruitment used to happen by what? By means of gate score, isn't it? But if you can see from, let us say, one year like that, but if you can see, let us say from 1 year, many PSUs are dropping from the gate examination and they are trying to conduct their own examinations. And last year we have already seen BHEL and such kind of PSUs also have started conducting their own examinations, and still Coal India Limited is conducting its own examination. BHEL started to conduct its own examination. Even Naval Lignite Corporation used to recruit on basis of gate score. It started conducting its own examination. Vizag Steel also, earlier Vizag Steel used to conduct its own examination. In between they went for 1 or 2 years, I think they went for gate score, and again they are coming back to their own examination pattern only. Okay, so maybe it is expected that from next year onwards also number of PSUs that will be recruiting from gate score will be decreasing, and probably maybe the PSUs will start recruiting on their own by conducting their own recruitment examination. So in this event, this is going to be a good opportunity for students who are not, who cannot get good rank in gate examination, or who have that capacity but due to XYZ factors they could not crack the gate examination. They will have a better chance now in order to get a job in a PSU, a good job in a PSUs. So before getting into this preparation plan and all, first we have to understand the mindsets of the PSUs. Basically what they are expecting from this recruitment examination, what do they want to select, what kind of candidates they want to select, for what kind of post they are conducting the examination. So if you have this idea, then you will understand what will be the pattern of examination or the level of the examination. Then you can target your preparation on such kind of aspects so that your selection ratio or your selection chances would be maximum, rather than going with a conventional or a traditional approach of preparing for competitive exams. No, that should not be there. You should always try to understand the mindset of the examiner. How can we know the mindset of the examiner? Very simple. Let me explain you now. So most of the students now, when we talk about this Vizag Steel or NLC, what is that post that you are going to apply, or this corporations or this company is going to conduct the examination? They are going to conduct examination for the post of something called as ET. ET means executive trainee, both of them. And the qualification for this executive trainee is graduation, BE, BTech. Because my channel is mainly for engineers, so I am talking about engineering graduates only. So engineering graduate is the qualification for this particular post, as you know. So ET means what? ET, executive trainee. So the cadre of this post is an executive cadre. What do you mean by executive cadre? Executive cadre means, you can say it is the officer cadre, or I can also say it is a managerial cadre. It is a managerial cadre. So what do you expect generally in any organization from an officer or a manager or an executive? See, when you talk, you are an officer. When you say you are an officer, you are not supposed to go into the field, you are not supposed to climb on the transformer, you are not going to give connections, or you are not going to go into the factory and switch on the AC motor for the functioning of the factory. No, you are not going to do that. To do that, there are many people under you. You are an officer, you are a manager. You are expected to manage some things, some factors of production, or some important factors which are responsible for the functioning of the organization, like management of men, that means management of manpower, management of machineries, management of materials, management of money. All these things are expected from you. So as an officer, you are not expected to behave like a scientist, rather you are expected to behave like a good manager. So that's what PSUs will be looking while conducting recruitment for this kind of examination, that they are trying to find a candidate who is having good officer like qualities or good managerial qualities, but not who is a scientist. We don't require scientists to work in a corporation like this. Basically, you see, once you get into the organization, if somebody is working in some organization like PSUs and all, you just find out with them how much technical knowledge they learned in their engineering or their preparations is useful practically in the organization when they are in the executive level or officer level. Definitely, I can say only 5 to 10% of the subject what they have learned would be helpful for them at that point of time. See, as a manager, you are not expected to know what is the EMF equation of a transformer, but you must be able to know that transformer input side, if you use some electrical energy, on the output side also you are going to get some electrical energy. So depending upon the turns ratio and configuration, or you can call it a step up transformer or a step down transformer. Let us say you want some different voltage at some point of that particular factory, then you must be able to suggest the management that we may put one transformer over there or a auto transformer over there to get a variable voltage. So you just need to have a broader idea of your discipline. Let us say you are an electrical engineer, you must be having a broad idea about what electrical engineering is, what are the elements of electrical engineering, all these things. But rather you are not expected to behave like a scientist or a researcher in the field of electrical engineering, especially when you are working for some PSUs or especially in the PSU scenario. But if you come back to other organizations, see, like ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, or BARC or DRDO. So these organizations, they are purely research oriented organizations, and when these organizations are conducting examinations, they are actually looking not officers or managers, but rather they are actually looking for what? Scientists and researchers who is having a deep understanding of the subject. That is what they are expecting. But when you talk about Vizag Steel, what is the purpose of, what is the function of this particular company, Vizag Steel, Neyveli Lignite Corporation? What is the function of this particular organization? You just see in their website, and they have got nothing to do with a scientist. They are only there with officers or managers. So when you observe the recruitment pattern of these PSUs, see, not just Vizag Steel, not just NLC, not just BHEL, any PSU examination that is going to happen, now you will be seeing, will be definitely having two parts of the examination. The pattern is going to be in the same manner, maybe the number of marks, the negative marking concept, this might be different for different PSUs, but the idea behind the selection process or the gist of the selection process is going to be the same. Okay, so I will anyhow explain in detail as we move forward, but now I am stressing you that if you talk about the selection process or the written examination first, okay, the written examination basically has got two components, because they are checking two components in you. What is that component means? First, they are checking your mental ability. So by this concept of mental ability only, they are judging whether you are having some managerial qualities, officer like qualities or not. In order for your managerial qualities and officer like qualities to have some meaning in your area of function, you are expected to be tested on your technical abilities also. So how much good understanding of your subject you are having, but not depth understanding of your subject. Good understanding is different from deep understanding of your subject. Deep understanding corresponds to your ability to research or your scientist like qualities and all, whereas they are just expecting how much technicalities you have, how many technical terms you know. This kind of things will be generally expected. So major focus is going to be on mental ability, and technical is just for namesake. Okay, so when you talk about mental ability, there are many elements of this general ability concept which will be helping an organization to check the prospective candidate for his officer like qualities or managerial qualities. Like definitely you will be having something like quantitative aptitude, reasoning, verbal and non-verbal reasoning, English knowledge, your general knowledge, current affairs knowledge, etc., all these kind of things will be there. Anyhow, I am going to discuss in this video, throughout this video, it might be a little bit long or short, whatever it may be, because I have just started recording this video, I don't know how long it will go. I will be guiding you through all the stages and how you should prepare actually. And now that you are having a good preparation time in the form of this lockdown and all, try to utilize this time at your best possible and make sure that definitely you will be going near to your goal. So let's continue with this video. So welcome to this session on preparation strategy for PSUs examination, and mainly I will be concentrating a little bit on electrical engineering only, but if some student is there from apart from electrical engineering also who are preparing for the same PSUs and all, don't worry, you can continue the video, because as I was telling you earlier also that the major stress or the major concentration for your attempt or your preparation towards this exam must be on the general side as compared to the technical part, isn't it? So I will be discussing very exhaustively how to prepare for the general studies or that mental ability part of the syllabus. Okay, so let's start. So it's not just restricted for this Vizag Steel or NLC like PSUs, but even there are many students preparing for SSC JE also. Again, if you look at SSC JE syllabus also, it has got the same technical aspect. Okay, the technical aspect is there, as well as at the same time non-technical part is also there, like I was discussing for this PSUs also. Of course, SSC JE means there is a two-stage exam. So first stage is going to be a prelims exam which is MCQs based. So these MCQs are going to have the same, as I told you, technical and non-technical part. After you qualify the prelims, the mains is going to be conventional paper, that is purely technical only. So anyhow, SSC JE prelims prepare करने वाले students को भी this is going to be a relevant video. So this is Nikhil Nakka, as you know, faculty for GATE Electrical Engineering, and yeah, now we are also having an Android app. So you may download our RLC Education Android app. Okay, and you can get furthermore notification updates or any other courses coming from our end regarding your preparation, and it is more relevant for electrical engineering students. And we are also trying to bring up more previous question papers and many free resources at your disposal. So there will be much more good content in this app as compared to what you find in my YouTube channel. And at the same time, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel also. Okay, so because many more good content is going to come, and up to now there is a lot of content already available on the platform as of now, right? So now if you look at the syllabus, the common exam pattern for most PSUs, as I was telling you, okay, the first part is going to be written test part, and after written test you are going to have the interview. This is going to be the major examination or selection pattern. So when you look at the written part, written examination, you are going to have a non-technical part and you are going to have a technical part, as I already told you. So in non-technical part, see what you are having aptitude, or it's also called as quantitative aptitude, or simply we call it quant. And again you are having reasoning. In reasoning parts you will be having verbal reasoning, and you will be also having non-verbal part. Okay, so before deciding what to prepare, verbal or non-verbal or both, you first go through the syllabus of that particular examination, which I will run you now. And next, English, data interpretation, general studies and current affairs. Okay, so these are going to be the general parts of this non-technical aspect of the examination. And as I was telling you, this is going to be the more tricky part. Okay, this non-technical part only is going to decide your selection. Why? Because as I told you, technical part will be it will be on a very lighter side. See, as I was telling you, you are just expected to know the basic terminologies of your particular discipline. Let us say you are talking about electrical engineering. You see, many questions will be asked, what is the unit of conductance? You understood? You are getting me right? So that would be the level of questions, and it would be a relatively a very easy part. And if you feel it easy, then definitely, okay, if you definitely many others will also feel it much more easier. So that will what decide how is the competition. So on the technical part, your competition will be very high. So what actually decides your selection is non-technical part. It is going to be not as easy as you will expect. Okay, the non-technical part, the difficulty level will be on par with some SSC CGL or some banking exams or SBI exam, this kind of exams, right? So the same level of difficulty level is going to be the same level of difficulty is going to be given here also. So first we will go through the NLC selection, because I have gone through the syllabus. So I have taken this screenshot of that particular syllabus what is given in the notification. So if you look at this particular notification clipping. So you will just highlight, I will just highlight some important aspects about this Neyveli Lignite Corporation. So as given, it is a computer based examination, it is a computer based examination, and the exam will be of how much? 2 hours. So the question paper will be consisting of a part 1 with 40 questions on quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, data interpretation, general awareness, general English, etc. All these things are there. And part 2 will be 80 questions on discipline related. That means total 120 objective questions are there. So as I told you, there is a part 1 and part 2 with non-technical aspect and technical aspect, and each question carries 1 mark, and there will be negative marking. Negative marking is given. How much negative marking? 1/4 mark negative marking is there. In which exam? Neyveli Lignite Corporation NLC exam, there is negative marking. Okay, and question paper will be in English and all these things, you know. Okay, minimum qualifying marks. These are all the things. So just to show you what is the syllabus that he has given, I have taken this. Okay, at the same time, next another PSU that we were talking about is the Vizag Steel. Now if you look at what is given in the notification of the Vizag Steel exam, this is also, see, online test followed by personal interview, as I was already telling. The same within NLC also, right? So online test will comprise of what? You see, general awareness, numerical ability or aptitude, general English, data interpretation, verbal and non-verbal reasoning, and separate paper for each discipline, as I told you. So there will be paper 1 and paper 2, and that is going to be of this general topics, and another paper for a discipline wise. Okay, so each segment, aptitude and technical part, shall consist of 100 questions, 1 mark for every right answer. That means non-technical paper is going to be of 100 marks and technical paper is going to be of 100 marks. So total 200 marks exam paper this is going to be, understood? So we should secure 50% in each segment for 40% for SC, ST, OBC, and this kind of things is there. Okay, so that means in each paper you have to get minimum 50% for qualifying. And one very interesting aspect about this Vizag Steel exam is that you just see about this negative marking part. No negative marking is there for wrong answers. So here you are having a little bit edge, so that you can take some wild guesses also, right? And these are just other non-technical things. So if you look at the syllabus, as I was already telling you, the syllabus is having what? 2 components. So one component is a non-technical component, the other one is a technical component, and non-technical component is having this quantitative aptitude, reasoning part, English, data interpretation, general studies, and current affairs. So if you look at the both examination, almost the same is there, and even if you look at SSC JE also, the same part will be there, although I did not explicitly mention in this particular video. But when again SSC JE exam is going to come, probably then I will make another video about that, and I will again explain you all the aspects of that one. Now if I am just talking about electrical guys syllabus, EEE syllabus of NLC examination. This is NLC because NLC guys have announced the engineering part syllabus. So you can just go through their website and you can find out what is the syllabus of your branch also. For electrical guys, you see in electrical circuits part, only 3-phase circuits, power and power factor of AC circuits, or simply I can say single phase AC circuits and 3-phase AC circuit. Again, you don't have to go through DC circuit is not there, theorems is not there, and power absorbed, delivered, theorems, this and that, you can happily neglect. Again, you are having, see, EMF subject is there, electromagnetic fields is there, in this inductance, MMF, reluctance, magnetic circuits. So up to here, again this is going to be very basic part only, basics of magnetic circuits. So this is nothing to do with electromagnetic fields, actually the subject. And here you are having the effect of dielectric medium, that means the boundary conditions and all, self and mutual inductance of simple configuration. So as the name says that it is electromagnetic fields, but it has got nothing to do with actual electromagnetic fields that you will actually worry about. Let us say you are preparing for GATE examination, you will be studying about vector algebra, electrostatic fields, magnetostatic fields, Maxwell equations, nothing is there. You can just simply neglect them, okay. So this is just purely basics of magnetism, understood. So that is relatively very easy, you need not worry, right. The syllabus itself tells everything, right. So anyhow, technical syllabus is going to be easy, and in that it is also very easy. Again, signals and systems and control systems. So
as it says signals and system, but you see the subtopics are mainly control systems. Only Bode plots, root loci, stability analysis, lead lag, lag lead compensators, PI, PID controllers. That means you don't have the transfer function concepts, block diagram concepts, right? Time response concept, frequency response. Directly Bode plots are there, root locus, stability analysis, and these last aspects is there. Again, state space analysis is also not there. See, reduced syllabus, very much reduced syllabus. Again, come to electrical machines, single phase transformers, phasor diagrams, open circuit, short circuit test, regulation and efficiency, three phase transformer, parallel operation of parallel operations and auto transformers. So this is up to transformer part. Again, DC machines is there, series and shunt motoring and generating mode of operation and their characteristic, starting and speed control of DC motors. See, mainly the question as per my guessing and what I have seen so far, the exam paper mainly it will be on the theoretical side only rather than problematic, right? So you need not worry, just go through the basics only, okay? They are like main aspects only, right? And again, three phase induction motor, principle of operation, types of induction motors, performance, torque, speed characteristic, no load locked rotor tests, equivalent circuit, starting and speed control, operation of single phase induction motors, synchronous machines. Again, you have all these things, and electromechanical energy conversion principles. Basic formulas will be there, electromechanical energy conversion principle, just go through those formulas, and losses and efficiency of electrical machines. Again, you have this power systems part. Power systems, you are having generation concepts, distribution system is there, voltage and frequency control, power factor correction, symmetrical components, fault analysis is there, protection, only circuit breakers is there, and some relay concepts are also there. System stability concept is there. You see, I can see there is not any mention about transmission. So you have almost eliminated a transmission part only. So very reduced syllabus of power systems is also available. And regarding all these concepts, you can just go through my YouTube channel. There is a free crash course on power systems. It will happily cover almost everything, right? And then again, control systems, the same thing has been repeated over here. So what is extra is there means, see, state space and state transitions. That means state space analysis is also again there over here, right? Next, electrical and electronic measurement, measuring instruments. You have to go through this bridges concept, AC and DC bridges. Measurement of voltage, current, power, energy. That means all the analog instruments you have to go through, instrument transformers, digital measurements, and this is CRO, oscilloscope, error analysis. That means almost more or less the total syllabus of measuring instruments is again included, and analog and digital electronics, operational amplifiers in analog. Active filters, very easy concept. 8085 microprocessor and everything regarding 8085, and A to D and D to A converters. See, for 8085 microprocessor, many students will be finding difficulty because they don't have much sources available for preparation of 8085. Again, for 8085 also there is an crash course, a rocket revision course on my YouTube channel. You could just search for 8085 microprocessor course. It will be just some 4 to 5 videos will be there. If we could spend like can say 1 to 1.5 hour or 2 hours of time, I don't know what is the duration, total duration. If you can just spend, definitely you will be very much confident about 8085 microprocessor. You will just play like anything, right? Next, power electronics, thyristors, and mainly about switches, okay? And line commutation, bidirectional AC to DC, voltage source converters, issues of line current harmonics. That means just the quality factors you have to, formulas you have to remember, that's it. Like you see, power factor, distortion factor, single phase and three phase inverters, sinusoidal pulse width modulation. That means there is no choppers also again over here, alright. So next you are having soft computing techniques. So this is basically actually an MTech subject, okay. Generally BTech guys don't have this subject. This is an MTech subject. Generally in PG or in, post graduation, this subject will be called as research methodology or some kind of topic will be there, differs from university to university. But I can say you can neglect this particular, because I can say most of the students who are preparing, like 95% or 98%, will be definitely graduates only, not postgraduates. So you can just simply eliminate it, not an issue, because you see, like how many students are participating in the examination. Let us say 100 students are participating, then 85 to 90% or 85 to 90 students will be of the same level in the technical. They will be getting almost the same marks. See, this is the truth you have to remember, right? What actually decides your selection is how you perform in the non-technical side, right? If you talk about what are the books required for the preparation of this particular examinations as of now, is this handbook, very popular handbook in electrical engineering by Made Institute, right? So you can purchase it, but right now in this corona lockdown time, you don't have anything available, even deliveries also, but PDF versions are already available everywhere on the internet. You can also download our app and you can find those PDFs also. And this is another very popular general knowledge book. Basically this will cover almost entire of the general awareness part of your syllabus. General awareness in the sense all the polity, economy, history, this kind of static GK, general knowledge part will be covered basically. And this is another alternative for this book, for the same book. And this book is also little bit more it's more readable, right? It looks very much appealing to read. So for general studies or general knowledge part, you can refer that one also. And when you talk about general aptitude, like quantitative aptitude, data interpretation, like that, what you can do is there are many sources available on the online, like you have textbook app, you are having grade up app, like all these guys are doing really good job. You can take some test series from them and you could prepare like that. And there are lots of videos from these people only in the YouTube. You can just go through them, you can develop some knowledge about that, right? So first and foremost thing is going to be you need to first check some previous question papers. So when you talk about these examinations, there is no previous question papers available, but what you could do is you can take SSC CGL, right? CGL, SSC CGL, CHSL, right? And IBPS, PO clerk, this kind of exams question papers you may download from these apps, or you can search on the Google and you can download, right? So there you will get a lot of question papers. You can go through the question papers. Why? Because these PSUs examinations also is going to be on the same lines, and the back end authority who is preparing the question papers is common for all these examinations. You have to keep that point in mind. That is IBPS. Generally, most of the PSUs are nowadays approaching to IBPS only. IBPS is basically, it's an organization that will conduct some examinations to select candidates for various organizations. That thing you have to keep in mind. So if you take case of Vizag Steel, earlier BHEL, these all guys took the service from IBPS only. So more preferably you could go through the IBPS question papers. Okay, this is a very important thing you have to understand, right? So now I will discuss the strategy for the English part of the syllabus. So how should you approach for English part is the question. See, in English part there are various elements. So I can say there are 4 subjects or 4 topics in English. First one is reading comprehension. You know how comprehension based questions will be like. Means he will give you a small passage or a small story. You have to read and again you have to answer few questions. So majority of the questions in English is going to be in this only. So this has got the highest weightage when you talk about English part. So what basically decides your success in this part is your reading speed, how fast you are able to read that particular passage and interpret it. So for that what you have to do is you have to practice. Practice is the only key. So as I was telling you, you could enroll for some IBPS or SSC CGL based test series and you could do the practice from there. Okay, so you shouldn't even hesitate from attempting difficult questions, because if you find something difficult, see, he will not ask something which is not there out of the comprehension. That is the only key. If you are finding some question difficult, means definitely you did not read it accurately. So you read it again, definitely you will get the answer, right? Next one is going to be the grammar part. So Grammar means, see, practice English speaking the way you write it. Understood? That is the only key. And make use of sentence diagrams and learn parts of speech thoroughly. See, there are many videos on the YouTube that can help you out with this. Next, vocabulary. Vocabulary is nothing but collection of new words. So inculcate the habit of reading regularly. So what you do read means, you take some English newspaper like Hindu newspaper and make reading habit of reading it regularly. Why? Because anyhow you will be having current affairs part also. So that would be helpful for you to have some base about the current affairs also. At the same time, your vocabulary will be increasing. And whenever you are reading such a Hindu type of newspaper, you will be finding number of difficult words or hard words or new words. You just make a note of them. You can search in the internet for the meaning, or you can check in your dictionary like that. So make use of flashcards also. Based on what new words you find, you make some flashcards out of them. Next, verbal ability part will be there. So verbal ability means basically that comes under verbal reasoning only. So identify the theme of each jumble and get an easy solution. So basically what means, he will give you 4 to 5 statements, jumble them, ask you to organize them in a sequence. Probably you might have awareness of that one. So that is about that one. Next, aptitude or quant. This is the very much important aspect. So if you look at the syllabus of quant, we can divide it into 4 groups. So this is the first group. First group consists of those topics which are very easy and they have very high weightage in the exam. And second group of the topics will be easy topics, at the same time they will be time consuming. So now I have properly separated them to make you aware, because see, this is where students will be falling in a loop. There are some topics which are time consuming, though easy they will take a lot of time. So I have segregated them. See, again there are difficult topics and with more weightage. Difficult topics are there and which will eat your time. Okay, they will eat your time. So that is 1, 2 and this is 3 and 4. So your preparation must be in this preference only. That means the group 1 of that subjects which I told, easy and more weightage, that should be completed first. Next, you have to complete this second group and third and fourth. So that should be your order of preference, okay, while you are preparing for your examination also. So you can see what are all the topics included here in group 1, group 2, group 3 and group 4, etc. Right? Anyhow, I will be arranging a download option for this particular PDF also. Means whatever the presentation I am giving now, you could take a download of that one also, which is available in the description box of this YouTube video. Next, another part is strategy for reasoning. So reasoning, reasoning means what? He will give you some kind of a situation and you need to arrive at the answer. Sometimes reasoning basically it's a kind of a test where you will be having, like, let's say you will be having 4 or 5 options, and more likely 2 or 3 options will seem like an answer for you, but out of them you have to go to the most accurate answer. So that depends upon that particular student's mental ability, his reasoning skill, whether he is able to approach to the accurate or not. So high accuracy topics means generally like more than 80% of the guys would be able to accurately point the answer, and low to moderate accuracy topics means you can understand that it's not that easy. Means each individual will get different set of answers and he may not be much accurate. So you can just go through this topic, and main aspect is time here. This will also be a kind of a time taking part. So this time can be reduced by increasing practice. The more you practice, the lesser time it takes for you to complete that part easily, right? So that's it for the other part. Now the strategy for general awareness and current affair part, and this is the very, very important one. So I'll be discussing very exhaustively. So be ready, right? So when you talk about general awareness section, basically this is the most scoring section as compared to previous. Most scoring section. How do you say, sir? I used to feel that the other quantitative part is a very scoring part for me,
Why? Because at least you have an idea of doing mathematics problems and all these things. But that is the concept with the many students. Everybody feels that okay, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, I can do it. But that is not the case. But at the end of the exam, you will understand that at least general awareness could have been easy. I would have prepared it well because quantitative aptitude to mere ko laga diya. Like that, this kind of thoughts you will be getting. So what is the important aspect about general awareness part is that it is a time saver as compared to other, because it does not have any calculation, no rules, nothing. You can attempt the questions based in this section very quickly, and many of you might also have this experience that whenever you come to general awareness, within no time you will be completing. Why? Because see, there is also a scope of scoring lesser negative marks in this particular section. Why? Because see, you need not solve any question. You can answer only if you know it or not, know the answer or not. That is the only condition. But when you go to reasoning or when you go to quantitative aptitude, in quantitative aptitude, let us say if your calculation goes something wrong or if you apply wrong formula, you might get an answer which is wrong answer which is there in the options also. Then you may go for that one. Again, like I was telling you in reasoning, accuracy is important. Means out of 4 options, you may feel 2 options are correct, but you will be in a dilemma to choose most accurate one, then you may go. But that kind of dilemma will not be there in this part. Basically, you know or don't know, just like a digital logic 1 or 0. So in general awareness or general studies part, we will discuss about the subject wise important topics. So first subject I am going to take here is the general science. General science means generally you will be having physics, chemistry and biology. So in order to cover this one, you may use NCERT books. Okay, the source is NCERT books. See, NCERT books you can find out PDFs also directly available on the NCERT official website also. 6th class to 10th class NCERT more than enough. And for biology you can read only class 11 NCERT, which is there something about climate and this kind of things will be there, environment related. Only environmental studies of biology you may read. It will be very easy to read and very fastly you can complete. So when we talk about important topics in science, see, all these parts, all these topics are very neatly covered in the NCERT 6 to 10 books. Okay. So in physics, important topic is regarding gravity, motion, work, pressure, units of measurement and sound. Again, when you come to chemistry, common names and compositions of various chemicals. See, what I am asking you to read 6th class to 10th class NCERT books. What is your qualification? BE, BTech. Means, is your IQ worse than the 6th class or 10th class student? No, it is definitely higher. So definitely you can do it very easily. Why do you get afraid of dealing with this section? Not at all required. Alloys, you see, you can see all these important topics. Anyhow, I will be giving you the PDF of this particular copy. Based on this, you can plan your preparation also. Next, broadly discussing about what you have to prepare from physics means, see, go through 9th class and 10th class books of NCERT just to make your basics strong in the subject. Once this is done, practice previous year questions to know the trends that is been followed in the exam. And coming to chemistry, important topics of chemistry have already been mentioned just now, I told you. So refer from NCERT. As I told you, 6th to 10th class is enough. Even for physics also you can go to 6th to 10th class, but concentrate little bit more on 9th class to 10th class. Okay, means just you can do like 6th class to 8th class you can do 1 or 2 readings, and 9th class to 10th class you do 3 to 4 readings. Next, biology. Try not to memorize all terms of biology because you will fall into a trap. Because you need not go much deep into biology. Why? Because it's not much difficult questions will not be asked. Focus mainly on human and plant anatomy, that is more than enough. Next, very interesting part is history. See, the entire history can be divided into 3 parts: ancient history, medieval history and modern history. See, ancient history means it starts somewhere like, I can say like 2500 BC, I could say 2500 BC to like 600 AD. So this period can be called as ancient history. So main parts in ancient history would be like Indus Valley civilization, and then you will be having Aryan civilization, this part will be there. Again from 600 AD means like around 5th century to like 12th century would be the medieval part, where you will come across all the Mauryan Kushan kingdoms and Mughal Empire, Delhi Sultanate, all these empires will be there. And modern history will be starting from 12th to up to independence. Up to independence is more than enough. You need not go beyond independence, and that means up to 1947. Now I will discuss in detail what are all the topics that will be covered. So as I was telling you, ancient history, IVC part is there. Indus Valley Civilization. See, Indus Valley Civilization is that part of ancient history which exists up to 2500 BC to roughly like 900 BC. Up to this period is the Indus Valley Civilization. So that's it there. And then again you will be having Buddhism and Jainism, the Mauryans, post-Mauryan kingdoms, and Gupta period. So up to Gupta period will be the ancient history. And again coming to medieval part, expansion, establishment of this Delhi Sultanate, and religious movements like Bhakti movement, Sufi movement, this kind of things will be very easy and interesting as well. Mughal dynasty and later Mughals and Maratha. So these parts comes under medieval part. And again when you come to modern history, European penetration and British conquest of India. See, who actually first entered into India, European power? Who actually entered means Portuguese have actually entered, but like they came around like 1498 only, whereas the British, in the form of British East India Company, they came around 1600s. But it was British who were able to rule approximately 200 years India. And before British, Portuguese, Dutch, French, everybody have come. So first you have to understand what did the influence of Portuguese has been in India, and how did British manage to defeat Portuguese, Dutch and French, and how did they establish their rule by step by step process it would be there, right? And what are the major battles fought? See, everything happened in the form of battles only. So when a battle is fought and later on a treaty will be taking place, and that will be the turning point of the history. So if you call these battles followed by treaties as dots in the history, if you join all those dots, that is only the timeline of the history. So that's how history will be moving on. Social and cultural awakening in India, that means rise of this social reformers, types of newspapers and all these things will be there. And revolt of 1857, whatever the causes of revolt of 1857, at the same time basically see, revolt of 1857, there will be number of causes for revolt of 1857. You have to remember mainly Dalhousie, okay, what were his policies of Dalhousie, like policy of annexation, etc. And again birth of Indian National Congress in 1885. And when you talk about Indian National Congress, Congress sessions would be very important. At like first session Bombay 1885, second session Calcutta, and who presided over which session, and what were the important decisions taken in each session. So these are the main parts of Indian National Congress. Again growth of nationalist movement, at the same time growth of militant nationalism. Militant nationalism means like fighting with arms, Bhagat Singh, this kind of things. And there were many militant groups also like Gadar Party, etc. So about them, who founded which group, like if you talk about Bhagat Singh belonged to which militant group, like this kind of things again, right? Again struggle for Swaraj one. So this is when Gandhi enters, okay, this is when Gandhi enters. So first part, what were there in this first part? There were non-cooperation movement, these kind of things like salt satyagraha, everything is there. Again in second part of Swaraj, there will be Quit India movement, there will be civil disobedience movement mainly. And how did Britishers respond to each of the movements that were happening in India? There were different missions and all. And Governor Generals of India. So there are like many Governor Generals of India, but you hardly have to remember like 5 to 6 Governor Generals only, and what were the major changes that were brought into Indian system from them. And again about Indian princely states, like you are having Hyderabad, annexation of Hyderabad, and the issue of Jammu Kashmir, these kind of things, right?
So that is the about modern history. Next, we will talk about ancient history. So begin ancient history as it will give you overall understanding of the subject. So first start with ancient history. So ancient history, as I was telling you, it begins with Indus Valley civilization. It is also called as Harappan civilization. So what you have to be concentrating is what is the culture and the society organization of this particular civilization, and what were the contemporaries of Indus Valley civilization. See if you take this is India, right? India, isn't it? This is India, something like this, and this part of India is Indus Valley region, right? Indus River originates somewhere in the Himalayas from the Jammu Kashmir, and major discharge of Indus will be in the Pakistan, present day Pakistan region. So this area, mainly this area, including some part of Gujarat, was Indus Valley region, right? And again, if you come over this side, and this region now presently is in Iran, right? Iran, and here is the Afghanistan part, Afghan, and this is Pakistan, present day Pakistan, and this is India. And in Iran was another civilization called as Mesopotamian civilization, who were the contemporaries of Harappan civilization. And from Iran, and here what you are having? Africa. In Africa you are having Egypt, right? So these were the early civilizations in the human history, like Harappan, Mesopotamian of Iran, Egypt civilization were the earliest civilizations, and what were the relations, all these things you have to learn. And after that, Buddhism and Jainism, and you can read what are all the important parts. And final part of ancient history is about emergence of various dynasties like Mauryan dynasty, Gupta period, what were the important things that they did. Next, medieval history part. So this is one of the most important history topic. One you can expect a lot of questions also from this topic, right? So the two important topics under medieval history involve the establishment of Delhi Sultanate and Mughal dynasty. When you compare to Delhi Sultanate, more important will be Mughal dynasty also, right? Also pay attention to this religious movement and religious reforms under medieval history. You may also neglect it if you don't have much time, right? And also about various reform brought by governor generals, like demolition of Sati by Lord Bentinck. Next, as I was telling you, modern history, and as compared to ancient and medieval, this is the highest weightage for any competitive exam, right? So these were I have already discussed already. You can just go through this in the PDF. Next important is geography. So in geography, these all are the important topics like movement of earth, inclination, etc., how winds are formed, different types of winds, soils in India, interiors of the earth. So basically I can say this part is one part, and this is one part, and this is another part. This is Indian geography mainly, right? So these parts you can cover. So very crucial thing is your patience. You need to be very patient in order to cover the geography. Why? Because the topic is very vast, and at times you may feel tiresome and you may give up also out of demotivation, but no, you shouldn't do that. But one of the most efficient trick that you can apply to learn geography is to correlate whatever learnt with current happenings. Like for example, see, if you have started learning about earthquakes, try to correlate it with terms associated with the earthquakes, with the events that have already taken place. In this way, you need not memorize much. So rather than studying it like a subject and studying it like a science, so whenever you find something difficult, search on the Google, you will have some, whatever the recent happenings will be there, you will understand. And make efficient notes and make mind maps also in your notebook, and try to revise everything at least once in a week. Next is polity. See, polity again very important part, but even though it looks very vast, but you can remember these things very easily. Why? Because you have a little bit idea out of our like general life also, because many people will be interested towards politics, what is happening and all. You find it more practical to understand polity, so this would be very much easy. So these are all the important topics that you need to be covering in polity. See, it is the easiest topic under general awareness. See, to minimize the effort and maximize the score, just to follow the political sections of leading newspapers like Hindu newspaper, and also keep close eye on the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha YouTube channel is there, right? Now by doing this, you will be exposed to all terms related to political science. That means you will be much more easily remembering all the terminologies and everything. See, very importantly, make short notes about the tenure and maximum age about all these posts. See, you need not make all the time. As I was telling you, if you take those general studies book, everything would be covered inside that. Apart from these topics, the other miscellaneous would be population census and percentage. See, now 2021 new population is going to be there. So you just go through any GK website about this 2021 census. What are the salient features of this upcoming census? What are the new element that we are going to introduce? And this kind of topics would be of high demand. Definitely they would be asked. Okay, and aspects regarding union budget, demonetization, economic survey. But now in the event of COVID-19, definitely there will be many questions about COVID-19. So definitely now onwards, you keep on following every news article regarding COVID-19 in the newspaper. And important books and authors, Nobel Prize winners, Oscar winner, even Nobel also. And first in sports, and these are all static GKs, you can just go through them, right? And sometimes questions may be asked based on this latest technology also, like development of computers, input output devices, memories and abbreviations like RAM, RAM, random access memory, this kind of thing. And basically we think that general awareness is easy, but there are many students doing the common mistake. What not to do in general awareness? So before that, what is the order of preparation for general studies? This is the order. Strictly follow this order only which I gave you, because this will help you to maximize score. Because compared to anything else, science would be much easier for you. Again, when you enter into actual general studies, polity seems very easy for you, and again you will be having history, geography and economy and miscellaneous topics, right? So see, very key for having high success accuracy in this part is understand the topics that is being asked in the examination, make proper short notes of current affairs, revise the handwritten notes on regular basis, give regular online test series, and analyze the mistake and try not to repeat it. So immediately join some test series and start making your preparation. And I hope this video might have helped you a little bit, at least to give you a broad idea what would be the syllabus about, how should we actually approach towards the examination. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to share this video along with your friends, and don't forget to download our RLC education app. And for electrical engineering students, there are a lot of good content on this channel. You can just subscribe to the channel and go into the playlist and check out. Thank you for watching.